Every year we're told this is the trend, and every year I look at them and think, really? Because when we put them on at home, not styled by stylists, they can make me look awkward, they can make me look dated. And sometimes I even think, why did I pay money to look like a toddler in costume? I want you to remember that many trends nowadays are designed for young bodies and to be styled on TikTok. This video is about editing out the trends of 2026 that I'm giving myself permission to totally ignore. Dramatic, big, and I mean really big, with big sleeves, coats are going to be big this winter, apparently. However, amongst my friendship group, my life, I really don't think that's the case. Big will be a bag on me. It will swamp me. Because when a coat is oversized through the body, oversized through the sleeves and oversized in length, the eye has nowhere to land. There's no contrast left between me and the garment. So instead of looking dramatic, it's just going to look heavy. On a tall, very slim body, maybe this can look fabulous, but on most of us, in real proportions, it simply overwhelms the silhouette. And that's why these coats often look better on the hanger or in photos on Instagram than they do once you start moving around in them. And I also think big coats will just be a fad, 2-year fad. And I cannot afford to buy into an expensive item like a coat that is going to be a fad. And this is all part of the drama trend. And so I will take that by maybe looking for coats with a nipped in waist if I needed a new coat. I'd be looking for shoulders. I would be wearing structure under the coat, maybe with shoulders, like a blazer. I could even belt my coats, my existing coats, belt them to add that structure, to give us that structural, the coat is the garment feel for 2026, because that's what it's about. It's about the coat being the outfit. Well, actually, when you're going to go indoors somewhere, because really you're using the coat just to get somewhere, so what's that point anyway? Along with that, we're going to see far more capes again. I do love a cape. I love those ones that have got pockets, that they've got slits in the front and the hands come out through them and so on, and you get arm freedom, but they're never really very warm, are they? But if I saw a nice cape in the shops or online, I would be very tempted. Parachute pants. Now that is a very thin, flimsy, often a shiny material. They're of a balloon shape, gathered at the ankle, and of a material that you would expect to be a parachute. They're going to blow around in the wind as well because they're going to be so thin. Now that material is going to be too hot in the summer because of the artificial type nature of the material, and too cold in the winter because they're very, very thin. So what is the point of parachute pants? And this is where the whole parachute and balloon category falls down. There's no anchor, the fabric is light, the shape is light, the hem is gathered, so everything floats. There's nothing visually holding the outfit down, and then there's no structure, the eye doesn't know where to land. And that's always my test. With trends like this, where would I actually wear it? A pantomime where I'm playing Aladdin and my friends are going to be saying, well, where's your lamp? We're also seeing those parachute shapes and balloon shapes in see-through lace. And sometimes I'm seeing images of the model in a sweater and these see-through lace thin wispy trousers. Well, is she dressing for summer or winter? What is the point? You're going to be freezing or you're going to be hot. It's incongruous. The whole look's incongruous. And I'm telling you, I don't want to be seen half naked, because that's what it is, in my own town. And I really don't think that this is actually going to work for me in London either. It's a trend that only the really extreme TikTok fashionistas are really going to wear, I believe. Skinny jeans, one voice says, are creeping in. Another voice says, no, they're not, they're well gone. I would like to see more people wearing them before I did, and I also would like to see how they're styled to eliminate that big round hip issue that we get with a skinny jean. We're also seeing a skinny as a jegging as well. A legging style, a big thick legging style. Well, that's great if you're going to be riding in the Grand National. I think it really does go with the Ralph Lauren looks though. And so tucked inside a nice brown leather boot be fantastic. Other than that, not for me, not yet. But also slouches in, and so is the barrel, so is the straight, so is the flare, so pick your own jean shape. And this is where we start to feel completely fed up, because when fashion tells us everything is in, it stops being helpful. What actually matters now isn't whether something's trendy, it's what it does to your shape when you move around in it. Ultra long jeans drag the eye down and outwards. Over slouchy styles lose all definition once you start walking around. And very skinny styles tend to concentrate everything around the hip and thigh. Well, on me they do. Once you notice that, it suddenly becomes much easier to see why some jeans look great on a photo, but feel wrong the minute you step outside. As for the slouchy, it can feel a bit too shapeless for me. And then we've got the ultra long, dragging on the floor, slouchy jeans. They may photograph beautifully on Instagram on a lovely clean pavement, but on me, walking around town, it's going to look scruffy. People are going to say, oh, she hasn't bothered to take her jeans up. What a scruff pot. Maybe she's, I don't know, can't afford a sewing needle. Because real life involves pavements. It involves puddles, it involves rain, it involves mud, and it involves dog poop, because yes, some people don't clear up after them. Real life is not about just posing on Instagram. Dark denim is dominant, but also so is really light washed. So which is dominant? I think go for both. And really, to be honest, if you want to wear a mid-wash, you might as well wear that, because it's a combination of the two. Other colours I'm hearing about is grey and ivory. Now, I haven't seen anybody mention brown yet, but that's very, very big in 2025. And brown as a colour is going to be very big for 2026. Don't be surprised if we also see brown jeans as well. And I have brown jeans, I absolutely love them. They're far more practical than you would imagine as a colour. Cuffed, large cuffs, as we saw in 2025, will be in 2026. Be careful there. They can be very shortening of the leg, because the inside of a jean is often lighter than the outside, so you're cutting your leg length. Look for a cuff that is the same colour of the jean, and that's more likely to be in the proper dark black and in the whites and ivories. The extreme barrel leg. They do exaggerate volume in the wrong places, and they do shorten the leg. Not to mention, they can feel quite costumey in real life. But hate me if you like, but I do like a slim barrel leg jean. And I'll continue to wear them with crop jackets. I love the silhouette that they give of the complete outfit when I'm wearing a barrel leg jean. Wear them with a pointed toe or a sturdy boot. The ballet sneaker, yeah, you heard me right there. Yes, this is a combination between the ballet flat, which I don't particularly like in the first place because they don't support your foot. And this is the hybrid between that and, yes, a trainer. I want a trainer to be a trainer. I don't want to be hybridized with a ballet flat. My belief is something's altered to be something else or hybridized. It will be a fad. And in a couple of years' time, we'll be thinking, what did we think when we bought those? Don't they look awful? So to me, this hybridization of a sneaker trainer with a ballet flat is exactly that, a fad. I'm not wasting my money. So for me, the trainer look for 2026 is going to be the vintage trainer, like these. These are wonderful from Adidas. I do love the vintage look of these, and that is where I'm going in 2026. And don't get me wrong, I'm not anti-trend, and I'm going to come on to one really fun trend at the end of the video, so keep watching for that. Now, printed scarves are going to be big again in 2026. That's an easy, cheap way of adding in a trend. But the way the fashionistas are saying they're going to be worn is not only as a little tie around the neck, which I absolutely adore, but also triangles around the waistline hanging over the top of your jeans, or worn as belts, or even over a jumper, over a blouse, around the shoulders, and then knotted in the front and hanging down, the traditional way in the 1970s they were being worn. I think those who are young enough not to have worn that in the 80s, you know, the scarf around there, tied there, can get away with it. Myself, been there, done that in the 80s, it will look like I'm a 1970s granny if I wear it now. Fringe is in, but not any old fringe. This is really, really big fringe. This is flapper 1920s fringe, where there's pretty well, if you're wearing a skirt, pretty well the whole skirt is a fringe. I feel this is too extreme for me. This is going to be all leg with a few strands of material. But again, the 1920s is being interpreted as a lot of beading. Now, we've been there. Some years there's beading on garments, some years there isn't. The years where there isn't, the beading on garments, we're told, is very dated. And that happens to be it seems to be like a 2-year cycle. So if I buy a jacket now, or a jumper now, or a t-shirt, whatever, with beading all over it, in a couple of years, I'm going to hear a video or someone's going to say, no, that's out of date. So I like jewellery to be jewellery, clothes to be clothes. So I will stick to adorning myself with jewellery instead. Now, I just want to remind you, if you've only just found me, please do subscribe. If when you look underneath the video you can see subscribe, then that means you have not yet subscribed. It is absolutely free to subscribe. The next one that I will avoid is the bubble hem. And again, I will say I want a skirt to look like a skirt and not a balloon. I would look like an Elizabethan courtier. Then a quick run through of some others I'm avoiding. Fluffy shoes. So impractical. Absolutely impractical. A bit like fluffy bags a few years ago. The weather, the rain. Who wants to go outside wearing slippers, which is effectively what you're going to be doing? Big bows, and this is really extreme. This is huge, big bows. I would be a walking parcel, and that is not what I'm aiming for when I get dressed. So this rise of the dramatic is not for me. These extremes are not for me. The position of a modern classic absolutely is. And I'm going to be looking for texture and palette for my 2026 looks. Now, I will be doing a video on what I will wear out of the trends for 2026, and that will be coming soon. In the meantime, I did tease you that there's a trend I'll tell you about now that I'm absolutely loving, and that is the t-shirt or loose relaxed t-shirt over a long sleeve t-shirt. That is being interpreted in the winter as, say, a sleeveless sweater over a long sleeve t-shirt. So that's what I'm doing today, wearing a bit of that. Why I believe this is going to be a big trend and not really talked about very much is that when I was flipping through Instagram yesterday looking for some inspiration, what shall I wear tomorrow? The first two I saw were women sort of my age, maybe in their 40s, 50s, doing that. And so that's why I believe this is going to be a real life rather than poised, posed TikTok trend. It's one we can do easily. I'm sure we've got these in our wardrobes, and long-sleeved t-shirts. Also, Chanel was showing pearls being worn very casually. So with a t-shirt, with a hoodie, with sweatshirts and so on. I thought combining those two, absolutely fantastic. So this is the kind of vibe I might be going for in 2026. I think it's a fun trend, ways we can use clothes and pieces that are already in our wardrobe. We've got these, we've got long sleeve t-shirts, and we've got pearls and necklaces we can layer, and we can wear our pearls with casual clothing. That to me is structural, but not exaggerated, and a fun trend we can follow. Now, if this video is useful, please do remember to give the video a like so as other women our age can find this video and feel they don't have to blindly follow trends. Now, if you've got this far, you're obviously interested in trends, and I would suggest that you have a look at the 2026 jewellery trends, which is ready for you here, and I'll see you over there.